Hey guys, it's July 2nd. Happy July. Happy belated Canada Day to all of my Canadian followers. I had kind of an eventful Canada Day. My dad actually went to the emergency room last night. Yay. Yeah, it just seems like that third dose of chemo just totally knocks him down. He had a fever and an infection again, and so they kept him for a little while. Now he's back home, but that was stressful. But the good thing is, I have tomorrow and the next day off, and tomorrow, the 3rd, is going to be chatelaine day. So I have one more day to work on Death by Cross Stitch, which is exciting. I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually on my way to dump the vlog footage from last month that I haven't edited together yet, so I'm going to make this really quick. I will show you Death by Cross Stitch tomorrow, I promise. And what else? Oh, I lint rolled it. I found a lot of cat hair in it because it's black and because now I stitch on my couch and my cat is all over me. And I know people have said, like, use a lint roller or like a piece of tape or something, and it has always made me too nervous. But I figured I had one page done and it was all 1/1, like tight little stitches. So I was like, I'm going to try lint roll it. I don't know if I thought it would like pull loose ends out or I don't know what. I still don't think I'll do it for like my chatelaine, even though I should. But yeah, I just lint rolled that little page of Death by Cross Stitch and it worked really well, so that's good to know. All right, I'm gonna dump this footage and edit this vlog together for last month, and then I'm gonna stitch and sit down for a second. It has been so busy. I have been over at my parents' house yesterday before they went to the emergency room, and then today just like doing errands and stuff, and it's really tiring. Also, I woke up last night at 10:30 because the fireworks were going off for Canada Day. That's way past my bedtime, obviously, because I get up so early. So that woke me up. And then what I think may have been either a firecracker or a gunshot woke me up at 1:30. So I'm wiped. So I'm going to call it for today, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's July 3rd today. My dad went to the emergency room last night again, by ambulance this time, and my mom and I just stayed there until like 1 in the morning with him, and I am exhausted. And then I drove home in maybe the worst storm I've ever seen. And it was just really stressful, and I felt bad for leaving the cat alone for so long during that storm. And anyways, so I don't really know what's going to go on the next few days, so I just wanted to say that I'm going to lay low for a while, and I will catch up with you when things are better. Hey guys, it's July 14th today. It's been a minute, and I wasn't really intending to vlog today. I was going to do it tomorrow because I knew I would be kind of grubby today, but here we are. So my dad is much better. He is at home now. He was in the hospital for like 7 or 8 days, and yeah, so that's good. He's getting stronger. They put off his next chemo, and that's that. Thank you to everyone who sent messages and comments and general thoughts and kindness. I am working on thanking each of you that left a comment because that really meant a lot to me. So thank you. Yeah, we're just kind of taking it day by day right now, but things are much better. So today, I've been off this whole week. I had 9 days off. I have 9 days off. This is right in the middle, I think. Today is my 5th day. And I've been trying to get done some stuff that I wanted to get done. I haven't entirely done everything I wanted to do, but it's okay. I have been stitching a lot, and that has been nice. I forget how to do this. 2 weeks is too long. So anyways, today there's a gym on the top floor of my building, and I had never been up there, and I was kind of like anxious to go up there because I've never really been in a gym, even though this is not a gym, you know. But I just, you know, there's that awkward, like, I don't know how to do anything, and what if there's a bunch of people up there, and they're better at things than me, and whatever. Classic, stupid anxiety. So, Tracy convinced me / asked me to join her in a fitnessy challenge type thing, and I am so glad I did because it is exactly what I needed right now, just like endorphins wise. And yeah, so I just did my first session. What it is it's like a race, I guess they call it, and you can pick different races according to, I already know that I should have explained this better. So the website is called YES.FIT. It's YES.FIT. And it has a series of races. And the races are set up to align with Google Maps. So for instance, you pick a race through the jungle. This isn't one of them, I don't think, and then it'll be 20 miles. And then as you log your miles doing whatever workout that you do, they give you the Google Maps representation of how far you've gone, and you get to look at cool stuff. I don't really care about that part of it. I know that's a big part of it, but and then once you finish it, they send you a medal, an actual medal, which is kind of cool. So Tracy and I are doing the Edgar Allan Poe one, and the medal looks really cool. And I think it's 22, just over 22 miles, and I think it goes through Baltimore. Like I said, I have not really looked at that aspect of this website at all, but for me it's good because so what you do is you just log your workouts, and then as you get closer to the 22 miles, they give you a percentage of how far done you are, and then they link you to your map where you can virtually run the race and look at Baltimore. So my mom has a treadmill at her house, and I've used it a couple times, but I've never felt comfortable enough to actually run on it. I've always held on to it with my hands. I know ideally you're supposed to get running naturally, but I only really got up ever to a really, really brisk walk, just under running, just because I don't know, I think I was kind of scared of it. I don't know. But so I went up to try and use the treadmill in my building, and I couldn't get either of them to work. I got to because they all have a quick start, right? So I did quick start, and then I got a speed error, and the belt wouldn't run on either of them. So I was so motivated, and I finally got my butt up here, and there was no one around, which is exactly what I wanted, and couldn't get them to work. So I was just frantically messaging Tracy, do you know things about treadmills? Why isn't this working? And we couldn't figure it out. So I ended up using the elliptical. There's also 2 ellipticals up there. I've never used an elliptical before. And it was pretty good. The first 10 minutes felt horrible, but after that, it was really good. So I didn't really know what to kind of expect of myself because I'm not the most active person. If you told me right now to run outside, I couldn't run outside to the extent that I just used the elliptical, which I think is a typical thing, running outside is much harder on you. I think your legs and your knees and everything, and I know ellipticals are supposed to be good for your knees, right? So that might be good for me. So I ran 2 miles. I ellipticaled 2 miles, and in just under 50 minutes. So I'm working on a sweet 25-minute mile right now. And it felt really good. I listened to 1.5 episodes of the Reply All podcast, which was good. I was telling Tracy, the only thing I have for an MP3 player right now, because I'm not really a person that uses one. Even if I'm going on a plane or something, I just bring a book. I don't need to listen to anything. So I had an old iPod Nano, second generation, that I dug out of, it was actually still at my parents' house, and I was telling her that I had to reboot it to the factory settings because the music that was on it had been long deleted from my iTunes, and I couldn't get them to sync properly. And it's just so I had to totally wipe it and start again, and it worked pretty well. The battery life was terrible though, but I'm just not willing to spend whatever it is a new iPod costs when I know that I won't use it. So that works pretty well, and it's real. The endorphins are real. I feel great right now. So maybe that's what has motivated me to pick up the camera again. I'm not sure. I was actually going to try to film something today, but I just did some cleaning instead, and I never quite got like cleaned up to the point where I felt like I wanted to be in front of the camera, especially for the first time since I like posted my short little video. So I mean, I look super grubby right now, but that doesn't seem to bother me in the vlog. So so yeah, I am 9% done the race that Tracy and I are doing, and I'll link that website down below if you want to check it out. It's really good for, I'm very like goal oriented, but I'm also not a person that loves working out like in a group setting. I find that really intimidating. So for me, this is perfect because you can log your workout and it will like give you a percentage, and then you know where you are in the goal, and then it rewards you with like an actual thing, like you get a medal in the mail, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and I mean, it's in my building, like why wouldn't I go check it out? So this was like the first time, and that's all I'll need now to be like more comfortable with it, which is good, just to break the ice a little bit. So thank you, Tracy, for kicking me in the butt to go up there and use the equipment. All right, stitching. So I have mostly been stitching on Death by Cross Stitch because it is very, very easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's like, it's very reliable. It's just like black, for me, it's just black thread, and it's easy enough to break apart, I think, most of the time in the pattern. So you can just like pick one section and work on it, and then pick the next section and work on it. Earlier in July, I worked on my chatelaine. I think I talked about that in my last update, maybe, with Sarah and Jessie. And that went pretty well. It was less scary than I remembered it being, the chatelaine. But I honestly don't know if I would buy one again. I'm not sure. And part of it is that fabric. I bought that linen with it before I really had like a fabric preference, and now I just dread stitching that because of that linen. Like, it's too stretchy, it doesn't roll up in my hand well, and I feel like it's never gonna iron out, you know? And also, I don't think I'll ever frame this because it's so big and it would be so expensive. I don't know how I'm gonna beat it. I really wish I had picked an even weave to do it on, something that I know now would have been more conducive to the way that I stitch, but I didn't, so it's okay. It's very pretty, and there is kind of a nice comfort in knowing that I've kind of done every part of it except for the border. Now it's just all repetitive. So like, for instance, I've done one of the corner pieces, the greenery, I've done one of the swans, and this last couple of weeks earlier in the month, I put in the like greenery in between the swans. So now I just have like 7 more swans to stitch and 3 more corner pieces to stitch, you know? So I'm excited to experiment a little bit. I know I've talked about this with the kind of the background behind the swans. It's supposed to be black, but I have black fabric, so I'm not going to do that. I was going to do acrylic, maybe make it look like they were in water. But I don't think I'm going to try doing any of that until I put in the other swan of that section, just because there's a lot of stuff that will kind of overlap, and I just think it would be easier. I pulled out the back stitching that I did on the swan, the outline back stitching. I kept the back stitching on the inside in the wing because I remember that being really tricky, and there's no reason for me to take it out. But the stitches up against the swan, what I'm planning to do in the Krennic, they would have to go under the back stitch. So that was just like a stupid decision that I made that I didn't realize would kind of shoot myself in the foot. But so I pulled out that back stitching. When I get back to it, I guess I'll put in that second swan, and then I will get to work on that little alteration. So yeah, chatelaine was good in that it wasn't like terrifying or even really super hard like I remember it being. But I was talking to Jen, who I'm stitching the perennial border with, and I was just saying to her that I feel like it's kind of a combination of all of the things that are hardest for me about stitching. Like, it's on the linen, which, like I said, is my own fault because I didn't know at that point that I preferred even weave. So it's on the linen, which is, it's stretchy and it's warpy and it doesn't roll up well, but it's also a PDF pattern, which I don't typically do. Everything else I like a printed out pattern. And if I wanted to print it, I don't think I could blow it up enough. Like, it's so big and it's so detailed, and I'm already kind of worried about the back stitching because I can't see it very well on the pattern. And so just that weird combination of stitching in hand on that fabric, plus using that pattern on my computer, plus what my stitching setup is like now. Like I have to have my computer on the arm of my sofa, and it just doesn't work the best, you know? So it's kind of like a perfect storm of all these weird factors that are just making me not love it. Oh, and Death by Cross Stitch I was going to mention. I'm having a really hard time seeing the back stitch on that pattern. I think it's because everything is black. All the symbol, there's just one symbol and it's black. And then the back stitch lines are black, but I have been having a really hard time picking it out. To the point where I've like gone to the Long Dog Sampler's website and looked at that image, that stitched image, and just gone really close into it to see if there is actually backstitching there. So I finished page 2 on Death by Cross Stitch last night, and I'll show you where I'm at. I think today I'm just going to finish up whatever's left of the black thread that I cut, and then I'll move on to something else. I've been thinking about that black lace sampler, maybe getting back into the colorful part in the middle of that, but that's also 1/1 stitching, and I feel like Death by Cross Stitch is a lot of 1/1, so we'll see how I feel later tonight, but I will show you what I did on Death by Cross Stitch. So this is Death by Cross Stitch balanced on my knee, page 1 over here and page 2. So there wasn't really, I don't think there's really any back stitching in the first page. But this second page, it started in these birds. So the wings and the little pieces on their heads, I could not for the life of me see that in the pattern very well. Actually, I had to go back on the pattern with pen and like draw really thick outlines so I would remember. And I am missing, there's a little bit of back stitch on the feet. They kind of look like claws. They're like little L shapes. I didn't like them that much, so I didn't put it in, but I'm thinking now that it does look like kind of an empty space down there, so I'm not sure about that. This is probably my favorite part of the second page. First page was obviously the unicorn, but second page, I love this little like heron or whatever it is, and this little fish that it's eating. Look at that. So cute. Oh, and these birds. These birds were really hard to see on the pattern too. Back stitching. Look at all this cat hair. I've already lint rolled it a couple times, but yeah, that's not going away. So those birds, and then this bit is backstitched. There's a lot of backstitch on this page actually. And then something down here look like little wheels. Page 2 ends about here, but I just decided to put in all of it because it would be a little easier. So I really like this though. You can see, I think, how it's divisible kind of by section. So like for instance, I could do this section here with these kind of diagonal arrows. I would stitch the diagonal line here and then the diagonal line here, and then I would just fill in that pattern. And then when that was done, I would come over to here and just fill in this diagonal line like the border, stitch that, and then fill in all the inside, and then come over here again, count out the border, stitch on the inside. So like I can't approach something like this in like 10 by 10 squares. I have to look at it as the components of the actual pattern, like the shapes and the designs. Although I don't think I could look at this pattern in 10 by 10 squares anyways, because you can't, that's the other issue I have, I can't see the lines. I can't see the 10 by 10 blocks in this chart. And that might be kind of par for the course when you have something that's all one color and kind of this densely stitched. But when I was stitching this unicorn, I really had to count and like block out the 10 by 10 squares on my pattern, because I was worried about getting off somewhere in here, just because there are pretty big sections of black in these kind of areas where it's more like a pattern, and I didn't have to worry about it as much. But I remember up here I really had trouble trying to figure out, because for the most part I tried to stitch this part like row by row until I got to maybe the unicorn, and then I could kind of go down here and then between the legs, and then, but for a while I really struggled with how to like approach this pattern as a whole. But it's been going well, and like I said, I'm going to put in whatever on page 3 that I can with the rest of the black that I cut from last night, probably just some more of this top border up here. And then I will move on to something else. Hey guys, it's July 17th today. It is about 9 o'clock. My mom and I went to see Ghostbusters today. That was pretty fun. My last day off is tomorrow. It's Sunday right now and I go back to work on Tuesday, which is a bummer. I've never had so much time off, it feels like. And you know, you hit that certain point where you just don't want to go back. But once I get past that first day, I'm sure it'll be fine. So I should go to bed early tonight because I have to get up early tomorrow because I'm back to work on Tuesday, but I'm going to do a little bit of stitching. I went back to Black Lace Sampler and I started putting in the 1/1 section in the middle, the colorful part. I know, it's like 1/1 city this month. I don't know what to do about it. But I think it's looking really pretty, so let me show it to you. So here is Black Lace Sampler. This is the little middle section I was talking about. I've been mostly going color by color. I think in the key, it's listed like the most prominent colors first, which has been helpful. The counting got a little bit hairy in some places, but I think it's all correct. So I think I've put in all the major colors, and everything that's left is just kind of little splashes of color. There's a little crown and a pair of scissors and some birds. And this is going to be like a planter for these 3 plants. There's a butterfly over here that hasn't really taken shape yet. So I'd really like to finish this off this month. And I think it's coming along pretty nicely. Hey guys, it's July 18th today. It's my last day off. I did some vacuuming this morning and I just did a little exercising and had a shower, and now I'm going to eat some delicious fresh rolls and watch Preacher, and then I'm probably going to watch baseball the rest of the day. I had really fallen behind on baseball when my dad went in the hospital, and most of the games I deleted. Like I watched the first like 3 or 4 innings, and then I just deleted it and watched Blue Jays Central or like Blue Jays in 30 or whatever, just to see what happened. But I think I got 3 games, and I got the All-Star game, which is never anything I care too much about, but baseball's the perfect thing to have on in the background because whenever something exciting happens, like you know immediately, but the rest of the time it's just nice background noise. What else? I'm gonna work some more on Black Lace Sampler. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking the colors, and I feel like I'm gonna get it done this month. I'd like to get it done before I move on to anything else. And I think that's it. Tomorrow, after work, I'm gonna go over to my mom's house and watch American Ninja Warrior. I kind of got her into it. I just think it's like really inspiring, and you know, it's not the same as the Olympics, but you know, when you watch the Olympics, you just get really pumped up on like human spirit, like athleticism. That's a little bit of what American Ninja Warrior does for me, and we watched it together last week. And she really liked it, so she's taping it now. So it's on tonight, and I'm gonna go over after work tomorrow, and we're gonna watch American Ninja Warrior, so that's interesting. Let me show you these fresh rolls. You're gonna die if you like fresh rolls. They're really good. Look at that deliciousness. Doesn't that look amazing? That's my lunch, and then I'm gonna do some stitching. There's the cat. Boop.
The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Dylan Betances hits 102 miles an hour as he strikes out Nolan Arenado.
Hey guys, it's July 23rd today. I have not been vlogging very much. I also haven't been stitching very much. Not to get too first world problem-y on you, but it's been really hot here, and it's been really hot in my apartment, and I haven't been sleeping very well. And so I've just been coming home and napping, essentially. So yeah, not much going on. I do have a development that I'm kind of nervous about, and I'm kind of nervous about sharing, but I am going to be doing taking some more education. I'm doing some distance classes. I decided that I am looking into a job change, mostly because I actually really like my job. I like baking. I like making things, like making physical things and seeing the things that I make, you know, instead of just the jobs I had before that were like office jobs and there's satisfaction in that too, but working the way I do now was something I never thought that I would be doing, and I really like it. But I can't get up at 3 a.m. for like my whole life. I just can't. I feel like it's giving me a disadvantage socially, more so than the one that I already have. I'm not a really social person, and so the fact that I have to go to bed so early and I can't even really do things that I might want to do because I have to go to bed so early, I just feel like it's probably not the best for me. I really like it. I like the fact that I get up early and I'm done early, but it's probably not the best for me. In the same way that I used to think that I wanted to do something, like I used to talk about when I was a kid how I wanted to work like on an assembly line or like as a night stalker in a grocery store, you know? Jobs where I would be by myself, essentially. The assembly line one doesn't really fit into that. But do you know what I mean? Jobs where like I do a very specific task and I work independently. Those are the jobs I love. And I still love those jobs, but now that I'm an adult, I realize that like I need to get a little bit of like social time in my job because I don't seek it out in my off time because I'm introverted and whatever, for a whole host of reasons. But so I need that in my job, and I just feel like I'm not doing myself a big favor by having this job where I get up super early and go to bed super early. Also, there's other stuff that I'm not gonna like talk about here, but it's not just that. But anyways, so I've been thinking about a job change and something that would conceivably make sense with the education that I do have, which is a linguistics degree. And so I decided that I'm going to take a certificate course for medical transcription. I've done a little bit of transcribing before, not medical transcription, but just regular transcribing. And I feel like it's connected enough to my degree that it will make sense for me. Because, you know, like I'm trying to think of how employers look at a resume, and I know that they shouldn't be biased according to like what you have on your resume, but me going from like university, from like an honors degree to working at a grocery store is kind of a weird jump. And I acknowledge that it's a weird jump. Like I said, it's not anything that I thought I would ever be doing. And so I'd really like this education, this further education that I get, to be somewhat linked back to the original degree that I got. Because I love linguistics. That's why I studied it. I love publishing. I love language. I love everything about that. So medical transcription at least is like loosely related to that, which I feel like is good. The things I was looking at, the things I tossed around, I should say, the big three were medical transcription, court reporter, and paralegal. But medical transcription seems to be the most like readily attainable for me and the one I'm the most interested in. So I signed up for this distance course. I started on Monday, which is like 2 days from now. And I am a little bit nervous about the time commitment. You have, they give you a year to do it, and then if you need longer than a year, you can pay for an extension. And you're supposed to keep to like a relatively, oh my God, my arm's getting tired. A relatively, you're supposed to like keep up with the syllabus basically. So they give you a guide of like where you should be week by week. And it ends up being like 22 hours a week, just like 3 hours a day, which is a lot. And I definitely have that time. I'm, you know, it's now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, oh my God, that's a lot. And sorry, I should hold my camera with my camera holding hand, even though it's tired. So yeah, and that's a big new exciting thing that I am nervous about and looking forward to. And I'm hoping that like the first few modules are like basic computer stuff and history of the field. And I'm hoping that I can get through that relatively quickly. I mean, I have a lot of that knowledge. It's just Office. Essentially Office, the computer program. And so I'm hoping I can get through that quickly and then feel kind of ahead of the kind of like pre-scheduled calendar, like where you're supposed to be. I don't want to get behind. But I mean, I think it'll be really interesting. It's like, there's a ton of modules about like, obviously it's medical transcription. So like surgical procedures and documentation and medical language, which I do think is really interesting. And then there is some evaluation stuff, and then there's a practicum at the end. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get it done in less than a year, but I don't know yet how feasible that is because I don't quite know how tough it's going to be. So that's nice for me to think that, you know, it might just be one more year that I get up at 3 a.m. I can get up at 3 a.m. for one more year, I think, and not be too like hermit like about it. But like I said, I mean, you guys I think will understand. A lot of you I think are like me or similar to me, and I can't afford to like deprive myself of social opportunities, especially if I'm not going to like go out and look for them on my own. And you know, they have to happen before my bedtime, which is very early. So anyways, that's my big news. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have for stitching, actually. So we'll see how that goes, or filming. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the news that I have to share. That has been kind of like getting all my ducks in a row for that has been kind of eating up this whole week. But now it's done, and I should be ready to start on Monday. I had to buy a laptop. I have a Mac, but you can't use a Mac. You have to use a Windows, which is a bummer. So I bought an old refurbished HP EliteBook for like $250, which was like an unexpected expense, but not unattainable, you know? So I got that, and I got my office all ready to go, and I was saying to my friend that it's humongous, the laptop. I'm so spoiled by my MacBook Air. It's so heavy and like big, this laptop. And I have to plug it into the wall constantly because its battery life is like 2 hours. So there's your like #spoiled Mac moment of the day. But I'm excited. I am excited, I think. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm excited. I have Monday off, which is the first day of the course, so I'm looking forward to like really getting in there and kind of seeing how it works, and then I'll just kind of work away at it. So, stitching, why we're all here. I have been working on Black Lace Sampler. I haven't finished it. I'm like 3 colors from the end, and my brain has been so overloaded this week that I just haven't sat down to do the 3 colors. It's not a lot of stitching. I still would like to get it done before the end of the month, but what I've been working on the last couple days is Death by Cross Stitch, because there's something about it that is so easy. I don't know if it's the fact that it's like one color or the pattern is like relatively easy to follow, but Death by Cross Stitch has been like my lazy cross stitch project. That's what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to take the cat for his nails. He's sitting right here. I should brush him actually while he's right beside me, so maybe I will cut this short. I'm watching like I haven't been talking for 10 minutes. I've been watching, there's a Hills marathon right now on MTV. You know The Hills? The Hills came out in 2008, you guys. I remember The Hills like it was yesterday. And they're showing this marathon, and I'm getting so sucked back in. I remember watching these episodes in my bed at my parents' house and just being so obsessed with them and how cool I thought they were, because they were going to like bars and they had like cool jobs and they looked pretty in that like effortless, like beachy, Laguna Beachy way, you know? And it's kind of funny to watch it now because some of that I still really like the show. It's really well done. But some of that has gone now that I've gotten older. I'm like, oh, all these fights are so stupid, and like, what are they even talking about? They're talking about nothing. But anyways, so that's on. And so I'm going to watch that and hopefully brush the cat right now. And then maybe get some stitching in later. I will show you guys what I do. Bye. Quick update on The Hills. I've been watching for 6 minutes. Spencer has the beard. Heidi already has the plastic surgery. And I've already heard 2 Pussycat Dolls songs. 2008. Hey guys, it's July 27th today already. I've been so super tired all this week. And my class started this week. Online, but it started on Monday. And it just feels like everything has been so busy and I haven't stitched at all. My dad had an appointment with his doctor to talk about what his plan might be, and I got to go to that, which was good. I had the day off. And so we're just going to do another scan and see, because the most frustrating thing about chemo is it's hard to know if it's working because it makes you so sick. So we don't really know if he's sick because these are chemo symptoms because he doesn't handle chemo very well, or he hasn't had chemo in 4 weeks and he's still feeling sick. We don't know if now these are disease symptoms. I don't know. So we're gonna do another CT. We're not gonna do anything. He's gonna do another CT the beginning of August, and then we're gonna have an appointment. That'll be the big appointment to see how far it's gotten and if we can afford to do chemo anymore or not do chemo. I don't know. So I have that day off too, which is wonderful because I really appreciate being able to go to these appointments, because it's so hard to have my mom try and repeat back everything that was said, and that's impossible. And then also it's emotional, and I don't want to make her talk about it any more than she wants to. So yeah, tough meeting. This was a tough meeting this week. My dad was really emotional, which is not something I'm used to seeing from him. The cat's here. Oh, no tail. I thought you might get a tail shot. I'm not used to seeing him be emotional at all. In fact, I had never seen him cry up until this started. He's a retired minister, and he did his own dad's funeral service and didn't cry. So in my head, he just doesn't cry. So it's been kind of really shocking to see him be so openly emotional, and I feel bad for him because I'm sure he must feel like he's fallen apart. I mean, I cry all the time. So for me, it's I just expect it. I'm going to be a disaster, but I don't know what it must feel like for him to all of a sudden be so emotional. Anyways, so it's just all the waiting. All the waiting is the worst part. And that's where we are right now. So my motivation has been kind of low. And for instance, it's 2:00. I got home from work and worked on my course for a while. I'm trying to get ahead of the schedule because, so you're supposed to do 3 hours a day on it, which is a lot. Or it seems like a lot. It's not a lot. I don't have kids or anything. So maybe I shouldn't be so, I can't balance everything. My 3 things that I have to balance. So I'm trying to get through these first modules are really easy. It's all orientation and computer fundamentals and stuff that I know. So I'm trying to get through those and make up a little bit of time. And then if I can stay ahead on schedule, for instance, when I go to Seattle in September, I won't feel so behind. And also I know it's going to get harder. So I'm hoping that I can just make up a little time right now. So I just did that until 2:00. I haven't eaten anything. I'm starving. And now I'm so tired that up until I sat down on this couch, I was convinced that I was going to eat an apple and go to bed for a while. But it's also day 2 back at work. My second day back at work after days off is always the worst day. It's always the day I feel the most tired, because the first day I can power through on less sleep. Because, I don't get up at 3 a.m. on my days off. I guess I should. I try to get up at 6 or 7, but even then it's just not enough sleep. So the second day back, the first day back is pure adrenaline. I think I've talked about this before for me. And then the second day back is when I get tired. So today's second day, and I just did my course, and now I'm just sitting on this couch like a blob. And I was planning on going up to the gym and working on my virtual race that I'm doing with Tracy. I think I've got 9 miles to go. So I've logged 13 miles, which is amazing. That's great, But today I'm feeling very unmotivated. So I might just not do it today and make it up tomorrow. I don't know. I think this is one of those situations where I'm thinking about more than I think I am. You know, like I'm feeling like low grade overwhelmed feeling, but like it's not enough for me to be like, whoa, I need to like back off, or I need to, you know, take care of things. It's just under the radar enough for me to be like, why can't I get anything done this week? You know, I think I got a lot of stuff kicking around in my brain. So today I am going to eat my super late lunch and maybe do a little stitching, hopefully. All I've been working on pretty much is Death by Cross Stitch because in my head it's the easiest thing to work on. So that's all I've been doing, and I have to sort out, I gotta film that, my big whip update. I only have one day off. I have split days off, so which sucks. So I have Sunday off, and then I have next Saturday off. So I should film that like on Sunday because it's the end of the month. Anyways, I am going to try to get motivated and do some stitching or just sit here, and I'll let you know later what I end up doing. Hey guys, it's July 30th today, and it's the long weekend, but not for me because I work on Monday, and also I work today, which is Saturday. I have tomorrow off, Sunday, and my dad would like to go down to Regina Beach for lunch, and so I am going to go with my parents to do that. Frankly, I don't really know if he's going to be strong enough because he did too much today already. It's like 1 o'clock and I already know he did too much today, but he's very stubborn. So hopefully we're going to go to Regina Beach for lunch tomorrow, which will be really nice. So I have the rest of today off and I have tomorrow off, and one day off kind of stinks when you get up as early as I do, because I don't get up at 3:30 on my days off, right? But tomorrow I should probably get up at like 5, so that I'm not dead going back to work. Because I don't just work like one day, I work like 5 more days after tomorrow, so I should get up early. So today I've made a choice that I am not going to do any of the things that I should do today. I had a workout planned for today, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to work on my course today. I'm not even going to really vlog that much today. Yeah, I have been feeling really busy with this course and with work, and I still feel like there's a lot of stuff around my dad that is like kind of draining. So yeah, my course is going really well. I finished, so there's like an introduction, then there's like an orientation module, then there's a computer fundamentals module, which is very dry. Like, here's what RAM stands for. Like, I know that, and B, I don't think I should have to learn that in this course, but whatever. I guess that was requested by somebody, so they put that module in. And then there were modules on Outlook, Word, and Excel. And so I kind of fast-tracked through all of those. I did all the chapter quizzes and stuff, and now I am up to August 14th on the timeline, technically, which makes me feel great because I am 2 weeks ahead, but I'm also aware that now, like, all the easy stuff is over. So my next module is keyboarding techniques, I think, and then grammar and style. So like now we're getting into like the actual stuff. So I should probably do a little bit of that today just to keep, like I said, I haven't really gotten into a real module yet, and I'm not really sure what kind of difficulty, like spike, there's going to be. But I'm not going to do it today because I think I am like more tired and more stressed out than I realize, and I'm going to have a treat today. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to sit on this couch and I'm going to eat and I'm going to watch baseball and Netflix because BoJack season 3 is out, and it's been out for like 2 weeks or a week at least. Haven't watched any of that. And I really want to watch Stranger Things because that series seems like it's meant for me. It's like sci-fi influence, horror influence, 80s nostalgia. It's going to be perfect, and I just haven't watched it yet. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch, but I don't think I'm gonna update you guys tonight because I'm just being lazy today. So I guess this is kind of gonna be the end of the vlog. I have to talk about what's gonna happen, I think, in the whip update, because I'm feeling like I'm gonna be doing a lot less stitching doing this coursework. Like I said, it is supposed to be 3 hours a day, and even if it is easier than I think it's going to be, or if for some reason I am like really competent at it, I would still like to get done that as soon as possible. I would like to make a job change. So that, I feel like that should be my first priority. And I'm just not really sure how interesting the vlogs are going to be from here on out, or how long they're going to be. So we'll talk about that in the whip update, and maybe we'll do a vote or something if you guys care about like a short disjointed vlog versus no vlog. Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna do today. The cat is right here with me. I'm probably gonna stitch on Death by Cross Stitch. And oh, I bought a hat. I bought a Jay's hat that I'm gonna try and break in today. That's the only thing I'm gonna do. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you next month probably, but maybe not, depending on what we decide about the vlog situation. And yeah, thank you as always for all of your very sweet comments about my dad. I appreciate that so much, even when I don't necessarily get to respond to them in the way that I want to. Whoa, whoa, the cat's here. He's rubbing up against my hand. My camera holding hand. So yeah, thank you so much. It means a lot to know that I have such a big support system, even when I don't really know you personally, or I can't see you or meet up with you. I just really appreciate that. So thank you, and I'll see you next month. Bye.